Hi everyone, my name is Chelsea Mason, and today I'll be talking about Chapter 3, which was, of course, about developing a professional ethic. I thought it was very interesting to read this chapter because it's not something that I had ever really thought about or learned about, and it would have been useful to have this when I was looking, into career opportunities when I first started out in the field. And now that I am in the field and working full time, it's cool to kind of see how I can apply this in my current position and as I continue down my career path. Some things that kind of stuck out to me was ethical codes and principles as it relates to social media. I think that social media is a really great tool that we're seeing more and more professionals take advantage of just because it's a way to really connect with our students, and especially for professionals in higher education who have those front-facing positions where we are working one-on-one with students. Social media can be a really great tool. But with that, making sure that we're responsible and avoiding situations that could occur. And so that is something that I have taken into my practice. I am really young, and so I really connect with a lot of my student and my student employees. And oftentimes they'll ask me to friend them or follow them on social media, and I've had to really be strict and uphold that I will not follow them. And so a couple years ago, I actually did work as an undergraduate student for university housing. And so some of my residents who I remember working with back when I was a student, now that I'm back at the institution working full time, I run into many of those same students because they've not yet graduated. And so it has been a little bit interesting to see how we can keep that line still between professional and residents or even student leaders. So it was interesting to kind of read about that because it is something that really applies to my own life. Something that also stuck out to me was just making decisions without bias and without coercing students. At my last institution, I worked in enrollment management and specifically in financial aid. And that's something that we couldn't manipulate. A student was going to be eligible for what they were going to be eligible for. And there was not much, advice or work around that we had. And something unique was that I did facilitate the Satisfactory Academic Progress Committee and was responsible for submitting decisions for reinstatement of students' financial aid. And that was a very tricky thing to maneuver ethically because students would come to me and meet with me after they were denied to kind of walk through that process of why they were being denied. And so it was a question of, what can I say, what can't I say, or what is saying too much. It was really hard to navigate sometimes, especially because, in many cases, these students had gone through some extenuating circumstances, and I really felt for them. But again, I just couldn't really manipulate, what was in the scope of my responsibility. So that was an interesting thing that also came to mind as I was reading this chapter. And then also just some of the examples from professionals in this chapter where they said, someone asked me to do this and it didn't really align, or, someone asked for preferential treatment. Those are things that I've seen, and they do make me uncomfortable. And so I'm glad that I'm now in a place where, there isn't any of that. And so I think it is true to say that, if something makes you uncomfortable or doesn't quite align with your ethical values, then that's probably not the right place to be. And so it was really good to read that just as a confirmation. And something that, as I'm currently working at this institution, we look for as we hire our professional staff. So I do serve on the professional staff search committee. And one competency that we look at when we're interviewing candidates is motivational fit. And we're really looking to see what how well their values align with the values of Georgia State University. And so that's something that I've really enjoyed doing, and it's kind of helped me to look at my own motivational fit and to kind of dig deeper into why I love working where I work, and how I can continue to build upon my career here without having anything interfere or go against my own values or my own ethical principles. So this was a really good chapter to read. It gave me a lot of chances and opportunities to reflect on where I've been and where I am and where I'm going. So it was a good chapter to read. I'm also posting my professional development plan, which was the other part of this assignment, and it'll be right below this video. So I look forward to reading everyone else's responses, and have a great weekend.